Brownie's New Life. Brownie was a mutt, brown with white paws, with an underlying blackness to her coat, making her look the color of a fresh baked brownie. She wandered the streets begging for scraps and raiding the garbage cans for whatever she could find to eat. One day, as she trotted down the alley, she was approached by the boy who had always been nice to her and gave her treats. This particular day, he had saved for her the crust off his pizza from lunch, but he only gave it to her in small bites as they walked down the street. She longed to gobble down the whole thing, but enjoyed the moments when he petted her in between the bites. She was so hungry she didn't even notice, until he had given her the last piece of the crust, that they had gone into the fenced-in yard and he had closed the gate behind her. This was when the fear crept in. Brownie didn't know what to do. She was trapped. The fear and uncertainty ran through her nerves, yet she couldn't help but to think that things must be all right since this boy was always so nice. Then the boy, whose name she learned was Mike, opened the door to his house, and out stepped a large man whom Brownie had never seen before. Mike called this man Dad. He and Mike spoke to each other in that crazy human language. Then, after petting and looking her over, they put a leash and collar on her, which she did not like. The next thing Brownie knew, she was in the house. Just as she began to resist, the most wonderful smell hit her nose. Beef. Mike talked soothingly to her and gave her the bowl with the meat in it, and she knew right then she liked Mike and the large man. She dove into the bowl with abandon and ate the meat as quickly as she could for fear they could take it away from her before she could eat it all. After her meal, Mike took her into a small room that she later learned was the bathroom. It smelled interesting, and then she heard the water running, and again fear gripped her. Mike and the big man wrestled with her to get her into the bathtub and began rubbing this horrid-smelling stuff on her. She wriggled and fought to get away, but they held her fast. She was horrified as they were washing her familiar smell away from her and replacing it with an incredibly undog-like odor. Finally, the event was over, and shrieks of joy came from Mike as she shook off all the excess water she could. While it amused her to see his smile, she still felt wronged. Soon after, her and Mike were in what she learned was the backyard, and he was trying to play with her. However, she was too intent on rolling in the dirt, in an effort to rub off that awful smell, than she was to play. She so wanted to smell like a dog again. It was not very long before all these strange things stopped being scary to her. She quickly accepted her new life and began to realize that Mike was her human. Now she would no longer have to search for food, water, and love. It was given to her every day. She always looked forward to Mike coming home from school, as the first thing he did was to take her out into the backyard and play with her. She relished the life she now lived, even began to like the bathroom, except for that silly smell. Time passed and life was good for Brownie. She was truly the happiest dog there ever was, and Mike had become her best friend ever. The end.